All right, we have a brand new patch. So this is really, for me, mind blowing. I went to sleep and I'd already setting up for this, so I was gonna be able to slam directly into this once I actually got to a library portion. And it's 19.6.2, so it's an optional, and it seems like there's a lot of known fixes and what they've been kind of like breaking down. So there might be a lot of cool things they're going to come from this test. At least I'm excited for this optional. No, it doesn't seem like it's too much tailored towards just an individual portion of just a game. But I have some of the light note patch notes right above, as you can kind of see, along with like the optional that's already kind of pulled up. So let's go ahead and, as normal, let's see what if any kind of crashes have like messed with the Wattman, which it probably did, because mine's been crashing, which is back to its manual setting. So let's go ahead and do a reset. Yes. Cool. Now it's running again properly. Sometimes it does that. It's unfortunate, but maybe this fix might do a lot of good. Anywho, so let's go ahead and do our standardized test, which now is going to be Time Spy. We'll start off with that. Let's go ahead and open this all the way. Then we can go to our 4K window. And now that I know exactly what to do, we don't blow our computer up. Yes. And then we can just run the test. So, the sweet part is now that we have the Patcheroni right there, we'll be able to kind of capture the points and I can talk about the known issues. But I'll go ahead and pull it up on like a more of a bigger screen, because like this is just kind of a test to have it like on the side in a situation, just for people to kind of peer into it as we kind of test. But a lot of the issues they had known is probably more than likely the situation between VR experiences and dropouts and multiplayer game titles, and like the Radeon RX 400 and RX 500 and the graphics of products. So I mean, there's going to be some adjustment processing into where they want to. Now, obviously, as we see our turnaround, there's not going to be any much more improvement past what we saw the 1 FPS from last time, which was still cool. Don't get me wrong. I definitely like that. It was a solid gain between the 19.5 point like series of updates that we were receiving, which again was good, but it seemed like it was more of a tailoring point to a lot of just like what they were fixing in the issues. But one of the things that I thought that was very, very interesting, if I can pull it up correctly, let's see if I can better. Here, mouse. There we are. So adding Vulkan support was one of the more bigger highlights that I liked in this situation, where they got more complimentary points for me, and seeing like what this could really start to add past the portion of like the HDR support. We're looking at a more allows resets for the queries in the hosts rather than on the GPU. So now they're finding the functionality and making it work really well. The exposed free sync capability with the improved HDR, which is going to analyze. Sorry, as a young, I say utilize, not analyze. It would be cool. Analyze would be a great word. You know, it's analyzing. It's utilizing and adding at the same time. It's like a multifunctional word right there. Yeah. Anyways, before we go into the Mactionary, I'd like to go into the point of past where it separates the uses of the flags and the depths of the aspect depths as well as the image, making it possible to restrict. Wow, they really went all out with like aspect ratio depths, and like I'm very excited because like the Vulkan like series is supposed to be like one of the more like highlights that like AMD has to offer when utilizing that integration into it. Now, personally myself, I'm more excited to see what a full RDNA situation is going to be, and like the Navi 4.0 PCIe linked I guess technology we're going to start seeing around like July 7th is going to be very interesting, because it's going to be a combination from what I'm gathering from a lot of creators and like other people that are like just talking about the situation that's in the rise. So, you know, what are we going to be seeing in these situations as we know we get like a lot more better support of like the tail end of a legacy, and as they air in a new legacy in the situations, But other issues that they had known past the support that I thought was pretty exciting that they actually added in a situation like this is that we also happen to see like the performance of the metric overlays may falter and enable or disable and toggle in the overlay while in game. Okay, so that would be what we're kind of experiencing when it's crashing, where the overlay of the Wattman is just not really doing really great for the performance portion, because I'm assuming that's something you enable within that overlay, because I don't really utilize that overlay, so I'm really curious. People watching these patch notes, they utilize that overlay, and it's like a big issue, because I just utilize else. A TDR may occur when exiting some games applications and utilizing the DirectX 12 IP. Oh, whoa, IPI or API. Sorry, I almost was like IPA. My mind was somewhere completely different. When multiple screens displays are connected in a clone mode. So if you were having more issues with a clone mode, that was like more of a situation. Now it definitely seems like our background test right over here, like we did pretty decent for as far as the custom run went. We gathered our portion, so 30.5 we'll round it, and then probably about our 22.22, which we're always normally getting. So let's go ahead and start the install in the situation so we can kind of speed this up, and then I can get to a bigger portion of the screen of the patch notes. Okay, so go ahead and express install and full steam ahead. So, and as I can kind of like very quickly go over to our situation. Let me go ahead and hit yes. I would very much like you to do that, or I guess since I'm here, I can just tell you here. It's cool. So, past the points of what we have seen in the situations that have arisen in the DirectX 12 department, Microsoft Pixel tool may fail when the GPU is connected to an AMD X-Connect technology. But there's some kind of sync technology that really isn't that good right now between those two. And Crackdown 3 may experience some applications or games hang-ups on the R7 370 series graphics product. So it seems like this integration of what they ran into with the 6.1 is kind of having like a tail end of like the other cards. I'm definitely digging that like the Radeon 7 is not like out there for like too bad for as far as the situation, but it seems like for us what are the major fixes, as we can see with the experiences with VR all the way down to the Crackdown 3 that they've kind of cracked into for fixes. Now the known issues that are like just prevalent that we all are known for, past the Asus TUF Gaming FX 505 that may experience some discrete GPUs, which has been on the list for a good second. The Restream, which has also been on a good list, where they have been having issues with the connection between Facebook. Now the performance in the situation and what we can get into as we go into the install finally going to take place. Did not realize there was so many damn steps. Can AMD just make one step? Just click yes, done. Please be better than Intel or Windows. Do your job. Stop asking me so many things. But all hilarity aside, the performance overlay was where we left off, and the Acer Swift 3 AMD Riser processor may experience some system instability when upgrading into the Radeon software Adrenalin 2019 6.2. So, if you're coming down to that point, do a clean install. More than likely, that's going to be the better situation where it comes into the overlay point. So you may need to uninstall and reinstall, and I've had that where the AMD technology just doesn't really take, or something corrupts. Just uninstall and reinstall, and it's like your ticket back to a fresh platform, and it works. It's kind of annoying, don't get me wrong, but it works. But past that portion of where we are and what we were looking up, we also have a lovely portion of what we can get down to when we look into the graphic drivers may not uninstall correctly when utilizing the express uninstall option with the APUs. If you have the Ryzen APUs, you again might have to do an this complete raw and like direct delete and then reinstall. Let's go clean install all around. The important notes is the AMD mobile processor with the Radeon's Vega graphics card can be found here now. So these are the patch notes that we've gotten into, and we're pretty much almost installed, and we'll be able to run our last test as it flips around in the situation. Now, what I can do in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to happen, because it definitely seems like this is a decent install for my computer. Let's go ahead and go. Yeah. Now I can go back to, I think, there we go. And I can pull up the direct notes while it resets. And you can see where everything pretty much I've listed off is right directly there, as you can overlook it as we get into the portion. Now you can hear my PC beeping at me, telling me like, hi, I'm waking back up, resetting. It's running really well though, I do have to admit. Once we do the manual matchup between the FPS. Now again, like the FPS was at, you know, like 22.26, and then we also had a entry portion above that, which was the 30.5 or the 30.6 if you really want to get technical portion about it, of the result portion. So I mean, we'll see better gains inside of that. I have a feeling that we'll see actually major gains, so I'm hoping, if everything lives up to the, I guess, the Vulkan speeds. Alright, so I am back on for the situation of the PC overlay. And here we are. So, very nice. Now for as far as right now, I'm pretty much done with the patch notes, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that real quick. Yes. And we can get back to a full screen. That was just like my way of trying to integrate into like a little bit more of a different overlay fast. But I was really excited because I woke up and I was like, man, what am I going to do today? I was like, oh crap, I'm going to do this. And then I got set up and then took a little nap. And then I woke up and I was like, you know what? I can't even sleep. I want to do the patch notes. I did this. This is how I'm starting my morning without coffee. Patch notes. Amazing. I do need to get some tea though. Even more amazing in that situation. But let's go ahead and open up the test. Oh, right. I switched my my screens and I figured out the proper way of doing that. And besides just trying to like reconnect something and disconnect something really fast, this was way easier of a realization, so I can do this, and it's way more convenient to run 3D Mark on a 4K screen TV rather than the stretched 1080p, which is not too bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 1080p screen does pretty well. 20, I think it's 21/9 ratio. I might be horribly butchering that like ratio, but again, that's me probably waking up. Alright, so let's go ahead and run our direct comparison tests. Shouldn't be too long either before we kind of get like these, because now I'm able to skip the demo and skip the CPU as long as I click every single time in order to just get 2 tests rather than 4 tests, and one of those being hell long, another one just being it almost lights my processor on fire. So kind of negates 2 problems, time and heat. So we might actually see better performance out of like the tests, just for the simple reason it's not like over bogging the CPU where it causes a, I guess, a thermal bottleneck. Not a good thing. But straight out the gate, I can kind of notice it's fighting for a 30 and coming around that bend, and you can see the shutter and a tiny bit less frame tear, honestly. Before, I mean, you can still kind of see it, but it has a little bit more of a smoothness as we gain our almost 32 to almost 30 on the FPS. Pretty sweet. I'm definitely digging it, because there were points in times where it dropped almost down to 10. Well, let's see what happens when we get around this corner, because this is when you start to see like more of the major points. But this is the one you score the highest in, with the overall ratings as we kind of get to the testing points of these ones. The next one, it has a lot of turning left and rights, and that's where you really see the FPS just get sliced almost down to like 10. But I am digging that it's fighting for almost above 30, so I'm assuming we're going to see some major gains here, and I'm pretty excited to see like where we can kind of get into our tests between the comparison. Now I can already hear the R7 card like booting up to like this test, the extreme test, of processing 2, and it's already tripping out. It's like, yeah, I wasn't really trying to push myself. I'm like, I don't understand why you didn't just go Super Saiyan Blue right there. Alright, Goku. Stop being overconfident. Just go for the kill. Alright, so cool. You know, it's like almost a solid. It hasn't fallen to 10, and that's good because I've seen it fall to 10 before during tests, and it's actually holding itself in a mid 20 point and higher. So we actually might, for the first time, see maybe a solid FPS improvement. Like 1 FPS would be sweet instead of just this like 0.2 variant. Yeah, like, I've noticed that it's just like it gets a little better, but it's like a lot of extreme like frame portions are moving around. It definitely looks smoother though. This update for the optional, I would definitely suggest if you're doing 4K runs and you want more of a smoother situation. But there's also a lot of shutter implementation, and maybe that's something they did when they were trying to fix the FreeSync, or my TV just not being perfect. Technically supposed to be doing what it's doing, but I'm making it do what it's do. And it likes it. That's cool. It has no issue of catching fire. So here comes our results as we come into the Galaxy. What are we rocking for results? I also kind of wanted to run Fire Strike if we could in the very end. Damn. Damn. Kind of seems like we really didn't gain too much at all, actually. In fact, it actually looks like we lost. Very interesting. But it is an optional, so I mean, like, you don't necessarily have to, and this is one of the reasons why I went into it. Like, but look at the graph test, like right here, where we look at the CPU temp and the graphic temps. I mean, they're pretty steady. If you look at the frame rates and we go across versus the situations what we had prior before, were a lot of spike out points, but it was still smooth. So let's go ahead and go to our overclock, and we can kind of go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down that program, then we get some fresh. What's your notification? To improve my experience, okay. Sure. May cost it some performance. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't want to do that yet. That'd be great to see like they could, I guess, like quality, but that seems like it would destroy the FPS. I'd be like, what the hell just happened? Like we went down to like none. Anyways, like I can't get too distracted. Let's see if they slipped in a 6.3. No, that'd be hilarious. I keep waiting for that day that I catch that on a live stream where I'm just like, holy crap, I can't believe they just did that. They screwed up and they pushed out a new update mid-update. This just in. This just in. Anyways, all hilarity aside, let's go ahead and click our auto overclock. Let's go ahead and hit apply. See that software took care of the situation. R7 shot up and like speed. Go ahead and close this real quick. Should be fine. And let's go ahead and reopen up the benchmark 3D mark and see what we can actually lock into an FPS hopefully game. Now I'm assuming with like an actual overclock of this, we're gonna see a lot better performance. It already feels a lot smoother in the situation of this department and running on here. Not struggling as much. So AMD is really good about these kind of patches, and it's seeming like this is being the nest egg of what they've given us so far in the beginning of the year of like utilizing the Radeon technology and expanding on that family. Because it's like when I started doing these patch notes, it was exclusively as I'm running it on a Vega or the Radeon 7. Just because it was great technology, the 7 nanometer, I kind of wanted just to have it. Just I was like, even if it is novelty, like like people would dictate that the card was, I guess a little underwhelming. But I like it just for the simple reason it's like if you put it in the right rig, it can definitely expand for a cheaper price and definitely gives you more bang for your buck if you're looking at it versus like an RTX card. It's just like you're slicing out the ray tracing for like the great quality of just good graphics in the situation. And not to say like ray tracing isn't good graphics. Like it is good graphics, but if you slice that out, you can still have a little bit more performance in what you're actually bringing to the table. On pixel to table right there, yeah, or pixel to display. Yeah, there we go. Whole new farm to table there. Organic. But I'm definitely digging like where like the overclock is working it almost up to a 40 FPS. Holy crap. Who knew all I had to do was overclock this little bugger. Though the Vulcan is going to make it live long and prosper, I hope it flies away from me. You hear the background of the actual freaking casing telling me like an actual physical like dirt bike. Oh no, no. It just kicked into a whole new other gear. Definitely sounds like a Kawasaki. Nito Toledo. Those lions are probably one of the more cooler things I always notice coming around the bend. Holy crap! That's good stuff right there. That is a good, solid FPS increasement, but I noticed like a very interesting portion of like when you look at like test 1 versus like test 2, which seemed like it gained a massive um, flux of increasement with that overclock, which was not too bad. Um, Good stuff all around. Like looking at the graphs down below, you can kind of see where like a lot of steady things. But I think what ended up happening is like why I kind of expected a higher, uh, I guess, portion of FPS is if you look at the graph right there, it steadily increases halfway through the test and just rapidly picks up on the FPS. So I kind of feel like that wasn't really a fair, but it is a nice adjustment between where it kind of land shots right up as he kind of like the GPU load just goes and yeah, I guess crescendos. Well, let's go ahead and go back to our benchmarks. And I have been wanting to run this, so let's go ahead and see what we can do for a custom test. Let's see what happens here. I might cause it to crash and that'll be the end of the patch notes and be hilarious. Such an interesting situation. This does look amazing. Oh my. That processor is very hungry right now. Look at this thug coming out of nowhere. Oh no, gangster, you don't know. He's a ninja. He knows. Or she knows. Oh shit. That's right. Look at her. The invisible ice chick. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Welcome to the patch notes of AMD and running the Fire Strike. I'm definitely digging how fast they dropped this, but I was pretty late to the party. I think it was like only by 6 or 7 days with the first one, but they kind of do that once they stabilize, and it seems like with the 19.6.1, that was the new foundation of what they wrote the card on right now of New Days. Very interested in this fight. Pretty badass. Damn, this demo is decadently long. Damn, what a crazy scene. Oh, okay. It like went from HDR and tripped out. Right? Okay, now these are really good FPS. Now I'm wondering what this. It might be a 1080p test, maybe. Yeah, it could be 4K as well. Like for as far as it just romp stomps a lot of things. Like, 'cause I've noticed with like the time spy, it takes a lot out of a card. Next HDR test airs in. This is our Ice Ninja chick. She's returned with Guardians. Apparently, she's going to be in the next Destiny. That's how desperate Bungie's getting nowadays. Since the evil Activision. Like a robotic cockroach? What is this? What is your major malfunction, little guy? This like Matrix status? I feel like this is Matrix status. Testing the Matrix with physics. I'm very interested to see what we're going to finish our testing portions with. Look, with everything in the background the way it is, the FPS is just everywhere. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Looking at the results, it seems like everything could be into the portion. The physics test was pretty low just because, I mean, I think it's putting the load on the processor, if I remember correct in that portion. But that's good stuff. All right. Well, everyone, thanks so much for staying tuned for our 19.16.2 updates. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick nap before I have to get ready for the rest of the day. And then I'll be probably back live later on mid-afternoon and again later in the evening on all networks as we play a little bit more of Trover Saves the Universe. So I'll see you guys and gals in the near future.